Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name's Danielle. This is Tango. So today I'm going to talk about your birds and health. And I'm going to share some common signs of illness and things you should really be looking out for. So the two main things that cause sicknesses in your pet bird is malnutrition and stress. So with the malnutrition, it's not necessarily how much or how little they eat, but sort of what they eat. Most cage birds are offered enough food, but not the greatest quality of food. As you'll see with many people, they'll feed their birds just sunflower seeds and nuts, and that is definitely not suitable for your pet bird as a daily thing. Definitely not. Stress results from any condition that compromises your bird's state of well-being. Examples include poor husbandry, an inadequate diet, trauma, and even a cage that isn't enriching enough. So birds tend to hide their illnesses and sicknesses really well, and this is thought to be due to them being social animals and living in flocks. So if they were to show any signs of weakness and illness, they could potentially be picked on by the other flock members and could really be in a risk for danger. So because of this tendency of them to hide their sicknesses, the minute you actually notice that there's something wrong with them, they could have been sick for 1 or 2 weeks at least. And therefore the whole wait and see, if they get worse or if they get better is not going to work because they've already been sick for a while. So that wait and see period is already over. So you as a bird owner should look out for those subtle signs that could indicate something is wrong. And the minute you see something that is out of the ordinary for your bird, they're exhibiting different habits than usual, you need to go and book an appointment with your vet. So now I'm going to give a list of some of the signs and symptoms of illnesses in birds, and if you see at least one of these things or a combination of these things, it could definitely be worth booking an appointment with your vet. So I have a list in front of me with all the points, so I'm just kind of going to read through it because I'm not going to remember all these points out of my head. Okay, so let's read this then. Discharge from the eyes, the change of clarity or color of your bird's eyes even, and not the color change that happens sort of between young birds and adult birds. Like with the Senegal parrots when they're young, their eye color is like gray, and then as an adult, as you can see, it's yellow. Oh, is Tango gonna? No, okay. Closing of the eyes. So this could definitely be if they're kind of just sitting on their perch and it looks like they're sleeping all day. Discharge from the nostrils, obstruction of the nostrils, soiling feathers on head or around nostrils, sneezing, well, that would be sneezing a lot obviously, inability to manipulate food with the mouth, reduced appetite or not eating at all, so a change in diet behavior and their appetite, and that is important, fluffed up feathers, inactivity, droopy wings, decreased preening and feather maintenance. So if your bird's starting to look really scruffy, they haven't been looking after themselves, they kind of just look like they've almost given up, well, there you go. A break in bird routine, changed or no vocalization, this may be serious. I would think so. If you've got like a really chatty bird and then for a day or two they've just been silent, I would panic. Weight loss. So this is something that's going to be difficult to tell with birds, but I think it's sort of, if you've noticed that your bird hasn't been eating or reduced appetite, then you're going to have to weigh your bird and see. Equilibrium problems, very serious. Inability to perch, that's also a point that's going to relate to one of the next points I think, which is if they're sitting at the bottom of the cage, that's not where birds are usually going to sit. Like Tango, he's got a perch sort of, it is kind of high up in the cage. It's not the highest perch, it's like the second highest perch. That's where he sits basically all day. So if I had to find him on the bottom of the cage where he never is, I would kind of be concerned. Limping or not bearing weight on one leg, that you could definitely see and straight away know that your bird's obviously got some pain in its foot. Swollen feet or joints. Change in quality and quantity of droppings. Now, this is going to be something I'm going to touch on later. Droppings can really show the health of your bird. If they're normal, consistent throughout the lifetime, that's fine. And if you see a change, one poo that's different could be fine. That could be something that maybe, they ate 1 too many fruits that morning, kind of gave them a teeny little, runny kind of poo. but you know, one of those is fine every now and then. But like I said, I'm going to talk about droppings now. Open mouth breathing when at rest. So when I think of this point, I actually kind of think of overheating in birds, and overheating would lead to heat stroke, which obviously is very dangerous and a serious thing. And their mouth is open and their tongue is moving up and down. That's the sign of them being very hot. Lumps or masses anywhere on the body. You know, this is one of those more common sense ones. You know, if your bird suddenly has a huge ball of skin or whatnot on its leg, or they've kind of got a new bump on their back, you know, definitely something serious that who would see this and kind of hesitate and be like, oh no. I don't know, take your bird to the vet if there's something weird like that happening. Bleeding, and I think that would also go into if there's blood in their stool, or if you find blood throughout the cage. I would be very scared if I saw that. You know, another one of those common sense ones. You know, if you're finding blood everywhere, something's going on. So if you suspect that your bird is sick or their behavior just seems unusual, don't hesitate to make an appointment to see your vet. Now let's talk about transporting your bird to the vet. So you're not just going to drive in the car with your bird on the shoulder and walk into the vet's office with the bird on your shoulder for so many reasons. If you're driving in the car and your bird gets a fright, sees something, they're going to start flapping around. That's going to take your attention off the road and it could potentially cause an accident. And then when you walk into the vet's office, if there's dogs and that from another appointment, they could also scare your bird and could maybe even try and leap up on you and try and attack your bird. So when taking your bird to the vet, get a suitable travel carrier or whatever for your. Also, when taking your bird to the vet, you might want to take the newspaper or whatever you've lined their cage with. I mean, you can obviously kind of shake the old food and that off of it, but it's taking it with to show the vets kind of what their droppings look like. As I've mentioned, and I'm going to mention, the droppings can be a very important source of information for your vet. So if you've noticed some of these symptoms and you think your bird could possibly be sick, don't go on Google and try and look for a cure. Don't ask your uncle's neighbor's boss, you know, what they did when their parrot was sick. Don't go onto Facebook groups and ask. Just take your bird to the vet. You know, don't be one of those bad pet owners who kind of like, oh, my pet only stopped eating a day ago, and then the thing's like on the verge of death already. Also, don't go to the pet store and look for any kind of bird tonic and ask the pet store employees for advice. They are not vets. They're, you know, some of them, okay, I'm not going to say most, a lot of them, that's kind of the same as most, some of them know nothing about caring for pets. They're just salespeople who will say, here's a product, here's how much it costs, buy it. And a lot of those are actually kind of useless, and it's one of those things marketed for pets and it's just useless, and then you think, why do people still sell it? And we don't know the answer to that. So now you've been to the vet, your bird's sick, you bring your bird home. Now what are some things that you need to remember? You should actually continue to watch your bird's weight, because if they're sick, you know, being sick takes a lot of energy out of you and they can lose weight pretty quickly. And, you know, thinking of a parrot, even tango size, they don't weigh that much. So they don't have that much weight to lose before it's a really serious thing. So monitor your bird's weight, monitor how much they're eating, make sure that they're getting the medicine the vet's prescribed and eating the same healthy food you've been giving them. So if your bird is struggling to sort of eat foods that kind of need effort into them, like cracking open a nut or a seed or something, then you're going to have to offer them soft food options. And this can be like cooked vegetables, pasta even, rice, quinoa, you know, that kind of thing, and see if you can continue feeding them these options. And these options you may think are not as nutritional as the pellets for them, but like I said, they can lose weight quite fast. So definitely just getting them to eat something is better than them eating nothing. And if your bird refuses to eat, they must be hospitalized. You know, there's very few people who can successfully sort of hand feed, force feed their bird at home. So now we're going to get on to the fabulous topic of poop and bird poop. So birds pee and poop out of the same little hole, by the little bum, by the little vent area. So The things coming out of this one little hole can be things from the digestive tract and the urinary tract, i.e. both pee and poo. So, as you might have seen, birds have like two colours to their droppings. So usually you have like a green and brown section and then a white and beige section. So the green and brown section is actually their poo, and the white and beige section is kind of like their pee or their urine. I should really have Foxy on my shoulder when talking about poo, because Foxy poos quite a lot. I don't know, Tango is like kind of potty trained. He doesn't poo on people. In one of my videos, she pooed on my shoulder and it was there for the rest of the video. So you should probably have Foxy here to give you a sample of what bird poo looks like. So whenever you're cleaning your bird's cage or clean up after them if they pooped somewhere else, always look at their poo and kind of examine it for 1 or 2 seconds before you just wipe it up or throw it away. So kind of get a feel for what your bird's poos are always like. Poos, their droppings. Get a feel for what it's like. So if every day their dropping is a bright green with a bright white, then that's something you know is happening every single day, and that's healthy and normal. But there are occasions where your bird's droppings could be different and something strange. And this is not always a cause for concern. And this could just be due to something they ate that day. Today I put like a tea bag in Tango's water for a few seconds, because tea is actually good for birds. Obviously not like some kind of weird tea. A nice natural normal kind of tea is nice. So I just put that there for a few seconds, and he obviously liked it and drank a lot of it, because I put him on his swing and he made a big pee that was the color of the tea. So that kind of thing, like, you can, that's normal, okay? But if it's definitely going on for a while and it's completely unnatural to your bird's normal droppings they always do, that's now when I'm saying that you can tell what's happening in your bird's body when looking at their poo. So when cleaning your cage, like I said, look at their poo, learn what it looks like, what it's normal, and also disinfect and clean your bird's cage properly every time. You don't need kind of poo remaining and, I don't know, growing fungus and collecting bacteria and collecting flies, you know, things that can lead to your bird being sick. Diarrhea. So diarrhea isn't actually that common in birds, but you do get such a thing as polyuria. And that's sort of where there's the normal fecal poop section, and then there's just a lot of pee, and that's normal. You know, occasionally things like that are normal. You know, it's kind of like you drink a lot of water in a day. Say it could have been a hot day and they drank a lot of water. Something like that may happen. Now, a kind of rule is that like all diarrhea is watery poo, but not all watery poo and droppings are diarrhea. You know, it's something like that. Polyuric droppings could be an indication of like kidney or liver disease, but more often than not, like I said, it's just they may be drinking a lot of water or having a lot of fruit. The color, consistency and amount of each component in a bird's dropping will change frequently. It depends on the amount of food they're eating, what type of food they're eating, the amount of water consumption, even stress and mood can affect their droppings. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new and found this very informative and helpful. I do sincerely hope that you will kind of memorize these points and know what to look out for and notice when your bird is sick. I really do wish that your bird is never sick and that you never have to go through something like that. But now you know some points that hopefully you can catch any disease or illness quickly, and that it can be dealt with and it'll be okay. So that's all from me and Tango today. Well, okay, that's not all from Tango apparently. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!